Hey, what's up guys? Deep here. So this is going to be my review for the Smart Folio case for the new M4 iPad Pros, which I've been using for over the past month. It's a pretty expensive case. It costs $79 for the 11-inch model and $99 for the 13-inch, and you can currently pick it up in three different colors: white, denim blue, or black. Unsurprisingly, I've gone for the black option. It just fits my sort of style and has that stealthy look. And I've gone with the 11-inch variant because that's the iPad model I'm sticking with. So yeah, the design of this case itself is pretty minimal. I think what's nice about it is the fact that it magnetically claps to the back of your iPad, which makes it really easy to take on and off compared to cases that wrap around the edges. And it also eliminates a lot of the bulk that you get with normal iPad cases. So if you're somebody who's constantly switching between different cases, maybe you have an Apple Magic Keyboard that you regularly use, you can easily switch between that and this Smart Folio case without any issues. But yeah, the magnetic strength of this case is extremely strong. You can dangle the iPad around and shake it and it won't even come loose. One slight issue with the design though is that the sides of the iPad are left completely exposed. It's a similar problem you get with Apple's Magic Keyboard case and any case that attaches magnetically instead of wrapping around, to be fair. You're just not going to get that same level of protection. If you drop your iPad onto the floor or on a piece of concrete, you're probably going to see some damage to the sides. There is a little bit of lip along the sides to help withstand smaller drops and prevent the iPad from scratching against rough surfaces, but I can't really see it being effective for larger impacts. Also, there's no protection for the Apple Pencil, so if you throw your iPad into a bag, chances are the pencil will probably fall off and get lost. So in that sense, you could argue that this product really isn't a case, it's more of just a really expensive cover. And you can definitely tell that Apple were prioritizing form over function here. So if you're looking for a case that offers maximum protection, maybe you're using your iPad a lot outdoors or on a construction site, you're probably going to want to opt for a different option. But for general use around the house, on the couch, or whilst laying in bed, I think the Smart Folio case is more than fine for those sorts of environments with its less bulky design. The outside of the case also has a very nice rubbery sort of texture. Again, it sort of resembles the feel of the Magic Keyboard case. So I can definitely see this thing picking up smudges and dust if you don't wipe it over time. But unlike the Magic Keyboard, it is significantly lighter, weighing in at just 8 grams for the 11-inch, making it extremely easy and portable to carry around. So anytime that I'm traveling with my MacBook and my iPad, I'll usually just take the Smart Folio case instead of the Magic Keyboard case to reduce the weight that I'm carrying. Because if I need to type anything, I'll have my MacBook for that. And if I'm traveling with just my iPad, that's when I'll take the Magic Keyboard case with me. So yeah, it's overall a very light package, barely adds any weight to my 11-inch model. I'm not too sure what the weight for the 13-inch model is because Apple don't officially state them on their website, but I'd expect it to be pretty similar to the 11-inch. Another thing you can do with this case is you can sort of turn it into a mini iPad stand. So if you want to stand the iPad up on a desk or a table when you're viewing content, this case makes that really easy to do. And then when you want to lay it flat to draw with the Apple Pencil, you can easily do that as well. And what's cool about it is that you can adjust the angle at which the stand is held up because Apple have now included a vertical set of magnets which the covers of the case can slide along the back, which is something that you couldn't do with previous Smart Folio cases. So you're no longer restricted to just two different viewing angles. And because the cover has a set of magnets as well, the iPad will automatically turn on every time you open the case. And when you close the case, it'll automatically turn off the screen. So you don't have to worry about your battery accidentally dying. Now, a lot of you will probably be wondering if this case is worth the price. And to be honest, I'd say that it's probably not. You're not getting that much protection, and it's just a very expensive case for what you do get. So it's hard to recommend to somebody on a budget. Obviously, if you've got the money to go out and buy an M4 iPad Pro, you're probably not on a budget. And there's nothing wrong with treating yourself to a nice case. It's what I've done because I'm using my iPad Pro every single day. and I don't want the experience of it to be sort of diminished by using a lower quality case that could fall apart after a few months. We've all been there where we've tried to save some money by buying those cheap $10 cases from Amazon, thinking that we're being smart, only to then have to replace it 4 months later. And I'm sure that if you do your research properly, you can probably find some pretty high quality cases out there at much more reasonable price points, in the $30 to $40 range. So it just depends on whether or not you want to spend those additional hours, that additional time trying to find the better value for money case. Or if you want to take the lazy route, you can just go to Apple Store and pick up their Smart Folio case, where the quality is going to be top notch, but of course you're paying that very steep premium for it. Now, if you'd like to see my review for the new Magic Keyboard cases and the M4 iPad Pros, I'll leave those linked in the description down below. Consider leaving a like if this video was helpful and subscribe for the next one.